Hey, doll.
Hey, Rosebud.
How are you?
Doing better now that I'm getting here to sit with you.
Yeah, this is like the first time we've seen each other today.
It's been busy.
Or yesterday.
Yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah.
And we have the air conditioner working now, so that's good, right?
Thank God.
Thank you, Anthony Heating and Plumbing and Cooling, which does not sponsor the show, but did fix our air conditioner, which has been out for the last 2 days. So,
yeah.
And welcome to our wonderful Do We Have To crew for another fine edition of Do We Have To, a marriage podcast. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Emily.
Emily Miller, the rock of our family, post Mother's Day, which unfortunately I worked during, and I don't really feel like we did a very good job, but she handled it like a champ. The matriarch of the Miller family, Emily Miller.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's been a while since I've done that.
It has. I was really worried you were going to
say the MFer. You asked me not to say that.
I know.
What kind of husband would I be if I just blindly ignored one of your commands?
Probably like most other husbands.
We got a wonderful show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about everything parenting, really more parenting methods in general, and kind of like what's the good, the bad, but really what's the one to be striving for, right?
Yeah.
And Emily and I will speculate wildly about how we have always attempted to try to do the one that everybody should do, and how we have failed and fallen into other parenting methods that we will wonderfully talk about today. And hopefully you can learn something from us about what not to do, and then see, hopefully there's some things that are helpful that we're trying to improve upon that you guys can see. And Emily did a great job with the research. I learned a lot during this process, so we'll be continuing.
It was a lot of research.
Yeah, we'll be continuing our parenting series today with that. We'll also be discussing a Sour Patch moment. We have a boomer Sour Patch moment involving Papa Ron and our wonderful Maze. And we also will be playing our fourth round of Get Deep, starting with an icebreaker card.
Yeah.
So wonderful show out there today. But first, want to get into some banter. I know, Em, you had mentioned that you wanted to discuss something as a sidebar in relation to social media. But make sure to like and subscribe and follow us at youtube.com/Do We Have To a Marriage Podcast. And of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and pretty much everywhere else that you can possibly go and see. And we're even on Peloton. So go ahead. What you got?
Well, in regards to social media, there are people that like to slide into some DMs.
Is that even a thing that people say anymore?
I probably
feel like that's like an outdated thing. It could be.
Probably. But these like thirsty little girls, I shouldn't even say little girls.
Why are you saying that? Yeah, Jesus
These
Christ.
thirsty women.
There you go. That's better.
Need to go elsewhere. Like, they're coming into a marriage podcast
account. I don't think they care. It's an automated, like, it's probably a bot or it's some other guy. Here's the thing. I think that's more of an explanation.
AI, fake, real, whatever. No.
You just ignore the thing and block them.
There are no guys coming in.
I don't know what you want from
hitting on me.
I just think that's a normal thing. I think guys are dumb enough to, for some reason, think that somebody's actually interested in them, and for some reason are unhappy and would be willing to give up to have a conversation, inappropriate conversation online. I think that's more of a guy thing than a girl thing at this point. I'm not saying girls aren't capable of it. I'm just saying, obviously, it shows based on the amount of people that have done that on our account, it's all females, right? Well, it's all female accounts. Likely it's guys on the other.
And I am a jealous person. I
don't think you're that
jealous wife.
You have access to all of it. Just block it.
I grew up with sisters. I'm very scrappy. I'll take you down. Keep your hands off of me.
But also, we really appreciate all the support on social media that everyone has given us. Thank you so much.
Take the thirsty out of it.
Just block them.
Find your drink.
It's probably not even a real account. Just block them.
The wife checked.
I support you. You do what you want to do. Why do you think they think I'm the one doing all the work?
Well, you do.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know that.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Slide elsewhere.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, everybody's heard it. You feel better?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could just block them or tell them to F off. I just tell them to fuck off. It's like when we get those text messages from people trying to scam us about saying, hey, you will a ticket for a toll you went through and whatever. It's a big thing that's happening right now in the U.S. I text back, fuck off.
I just feel like that's
fuck off, go get a real job. Stop trying to steal people's hard-earned money.
I just feel like telling somebody to F off is a bit abrasive. I don't want to do that.
You're literally like talking about fighting people. I can't tell somebody to fuck off that's trying to steal money from people.
Anyway.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Colin's now back from, did I do the whole diatribe thing? I didn't even do not actual family studio. God, Colin's going to be so upset. We're not actual family studios production. Yeah. Executive producer is Colin Schmedium Maskell.
Yeah.
Colin has just gotten back from Italy. He did a little tour over there, was gone for a little over a week, and we're extremely proud of him, and hopefully he enjoyed his time. And interestingly enough, right before Colin left, everything seemed fine.
He was there when they picked the Pope.
Yeah, he was. That's right. Pope Leo got our first ever USA Pope, which is fantastic. And Colin was over there while all that calamity ensued. And was he responsible for the white smoke? I don't know. It's possible. Was he over there to do conclave? Holy shit. Did fucking Colin, number one, know that J.D. Vance was going to kill the Pope? And then number two, after that, did Colin participate in the fucking conclave?
I don't think
Colin,
so.
Ray Fiennes, and the rest of the Catholic people got together and they picked Pope Leo. That's why we have a U.S. Pope. It's from Colin.
No.
They brought Schmedium in. They brought the big guns in. Okay, now we got that figured out. Actually, I'm glad we had this talk because I wouldn't even have thought that through. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Thank you. The other big thing was, like I said, everything seemed fine. It'd been at least several days since Colin threatened to fire you.
Yeah.
Or put some sort of weird undue pressure on me to make the podcast better or my body better. And so things were going great. And it was the day that Colin was leaving, I get a call roughly around 4:30 in the morning. I think it was 4:31. And I just hear heavy breathing on the other end of the phone. And sure enough, eventually he said, "Wake up, motherfucker." And it was Colin. And he said, "I need you to do something while I'm gone." And I said, "What do you need me to do, man?" He goes, "I need you to take care of my lawn." And he said, here's what he said too. He goes, "It needs to be crisp," which I didn't even know what that meant.
Did this really happen?
He told me to write this down. Yes, this absolutely happened.
Oh.
Would I make this up?
I don't know.
He said it needed to be crisp. Okay. That's the first thing he said. He said it needed to be crisp. Didn't say why. And then, you know what he told me? He said, write it down. Write it down. So I had to find a little Post-it note from a drawer, wrote down, "Mow Colin's lawn crisp."
This is not habit.
Then here's also what he said to me. He said, "You need to dress for the occasion." That mind fucked me for a solid couple days.
Shorts and a t-shirt.
So clearly, I think he wanted me to dress up. So I did wear a nice outfit when I went to mow his lawn. And he also told me it would be very easy. In and out.
I don't think any of this was true.
So I pull up. It's Seamus's. Anyway. So I'm given the mission. Seamus's birthday. And I tell Seamus, "Hey, Uncle Colin has given me a deadline. We have to mow the lawn before end of day your birthday. I know Uncle Colin's still out of town, but he said he would never support the podcast again unless I mow the lawn. And it has to be crisp. And we have to be dressed for the occasion."
What is crisp?
I don't fucking know. That's what Colin said, okay? So all I was imagining is had to be a perfectly manicured lawn. I'm assuming that's what he meant. I don't know. We'll see if he even edits this video. I guess we'll know if it was crisp or not, right? So anyway, and Seamus asked the same question. He's like, "What's crisp?" I don't know. We just got to fucking make it look good, Seamus. We got to get it done. And Seamus and I get there. We open up the garage. Thank you for the code, Katie. And in it is just a single push lawnmower. And Colin's size of Colin's yard. I don't know of any other American that would own a push mower for the yard that Colin has. So I said to myself, no problem. I'm in shape. I can do this. 15 minutes in, I really, really thought, if David Goggins wants to challenge himself, the man who runs 100 miles at a time in the desert, I think Colin's yard would create a challenge for him. Because there's multiple things I did not think of during this whole process of mowing his lawn. Number one, he might as well have some sort of moat around his house because he lives on a fucking hill. I assume it's for strategic purposes in case somebody were to try to invade his land. everything's on a hill. The hills were on a fucking hill. Okay. It was insane. 2 hours later, not only am I dressed for the occasion, I'm in nice clothes. I am soaked in sweat. I've never felt this tired in my entire life. I've ran a half marathon. That was that was so much easier compared to mowing Colin and Katie's lawn.
Yeah, they've got the like swing set thing.
I have nightmares about that lawn where
They've got trees.
I just am, all of a sudden I'm at their house and there's a mower out there and Satan appears and he says, this is it. This is your eternity. Your hell is you're just going to continuously on loop. You have to mow Colin's lawn. It has to be crisp and you need to be dressed for the occasion.
And you better figure out what crisp.
That's right. It was fucking intense. So anybody out there that has ever offered to, move somebody or mow the lawn for your close best friend of all time, and it ends up being a fucking whole bigger other thing than what it is, I feel you. And it was worth every second of it. I was glad I was able to, hopefully buy some goodwill for us, for Uncle Colin, so he'll continue to, do the show, not threaten to fire you. Absolutely. And just continue to have us within his clan. So, Colin, it's good to have you back. We love you. Hopefully the lawn was as crisp to your standards as possible. And, yeah.
I bet he's even asking what the word crisp.
He's the one who said it. And I tell you, it was really early in the morning. And he was he's kind of a low talker. So hopefully he said crisp. Maybe he meant something else. That's what I wrote down. Anyway,
Lord.
So Sour Patch Kid moment. We went way over on banter time, but he can't be mad about it.
No, because you mowed his grass.
That's right. I did. And that'll buy us at least a week. Yeah. So Sour Patch Kid moment. We want to go into, we have a Boomer Sour Patch Kid moment.
We do.
Featuring Papa Ron and Maeve. What's that all about?
Yeah. So that's a tag team situation. Well, your dad is military. We've talked about that before. So
is this the commissary story we're doing?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck me. Okay, go ahead.
So he takes us over to the commissary so that we can get groceries. And it's also where he likes to shop. And he gets in his little scooter cart. And I have like a push cart. And Maeve will normally ride on the scooter with him. And she doesn't ask us for things. She asks Papa Ron for things. All the kids do. If they want something, they know we'll say no. So they ask him and he'll say yes. And he puts it in his basket.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
I'd say Maeve's the worst one.
Grandparents just do what,
Yeah.
I mean, it's their job as grandparents.
I agree. But Maeve,
Maeve takes
hooks
full
onto him
advantage.
and rides around in his little motorized cart with him and is just grabbing shit off the aisles.
We go by the bakery section and I knew that there were chocolate donuts in the cart. I did not know that there were also donut holes in the cart.
Yeah, until I went over there and was like, why is there 2 things of donuts in this basket?
Yes. And so you asked her why. And she's like, well, Papa Ron said I could. And I was like, no. You need to pick one. So we're standing in the aisle and she has to make a choice.
It took 15 minutes.
It took forever.
And she mini mowed it twice.
Yes,
and then
she did.
the itty miny mo that she got, she didn't even fucking go with it.
She didn't like it because it wasn't what she really wanted. So she finally picked, was it the chocolate sprinkles, I think?
No, the donut holes.
Oh, she picked the donut holes?
Yeah.
Okay. So she picks the donut holes. Well, then, without
I picked up the chocolate ones,
beat.
and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put these back.
Yeah. Without
Ron,
even skipping a beat. Papa Ron goes, well,
He grabs them.
I want
He
those.
grabbed them, and he's like, no, these are the ones I want. He puts it right back down in the basket.
So there's both donuts in the cart. And we get both sets of donuts.
Yep. Sour Patch Kid and Sour Patch Grandpa.
She's successfully eaten the donuts and then successfully eaten the donut holes.
I'll add one more to this Sour Patch Kid moment discussion where it compliments or piggybacks off this donut situation, by the way. No. Donut Gate happened a week later because remember, she's upstairs and I'm getting ready to make dinner and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make dinner. What do you want for dinner, babe? She goes, oh, I'm already eating. And she's got a fucking chocolate frosted donut.
No, it was she.
Or she had already eaten.
She didn't want to eat her dinner.
Right.
Because she came upstairs and said that she was going to eat a donut with Papa Ron.
No, but I wasn't there for any of that.
No, I was here.
I know, but
And like Papa Ron was going to eat a donut and she was going to eat one with him. And I was like, well, okay, that's fine.
You're just bypassing the setup though to the story. You're just giving the details. But that's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't tell the story.
Well, that's it. Like she came upstairs and said, I want to eat Papa Ron's going to eat a donut. I want to eat one with him. I was like, okay, that's fine. Go eat a donut with Papa Ron. But then she wouldn't eat her dinner because she was full because she had a donut for dinner, basically.
Yeah, but that's not what happened though. She went downstairs and she said, Papa Ron, can I have a donut?
Right.
And Dad, knowing that we're trying our best to limit sugar, especially during the week, is like, well, you got to go ask your mom. And so, of course, she runs upstairs. She's like, hey, Papa Ron's going to have a donut for dinner. Can I have one with him? So Emily's like, well, she's assuming Dad, Papa Ron had already said, hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
So she fucking played both sides. And then here I am. I'm getting done with work for the day. And I'm trying to jump into making dinner before we get all of our activities and stuff rolling. And this little bitch, I mean that like with all the love in the world. But she's sitting there. I put the food in front of her. She's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, what do you mean you're good? I already ate a donut. Why? I'm like looking at Emily. I'm like, why would you let her eat a donut? And then we figured out there's a whole trail of lies.
So when we're watching the game with your dad.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I didn't eat a donut. She ate.
Yeah, they're like, mate, I didn't eat a donut.
She played us both.
Oh, yeah. And Dad was even like, I don't even know. She asked for a donut. And I was like, go ask your mom. She knew exactly what she did. How impressive is that as a 5-year-old?
She's a smart little cookie.
She is. It's amazing. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, we were Sour Patch Kid twice with one situation.
Yeah.
Donut Gate.
So many donuts.
Yeah. I love Sour Patch Kid moments, but I love getting to know you better. And Let's Get Deep has given us that opportunity, not only for the audience to get to know us, but also for us to get to know each other better. And it has been a hell of a ride so far. And now we are starting round 4. So we're going to do an icebreaker. So I guess just imagine as if you and I are breaking the ice, which was over 14 years ago. So it's been a while.
Been a hot minute.
What did you pick a random card?
I did pick a random card.
Just want to make sure.
It says, would you rather your partner help with the dishes or help with the laundry? Well, I personally despise both, but I would much rather somebody else do the dishes than me, but I do the dishes.
Oh, we have to choose one?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you'd rather do the laundry.
Rather have somebody do the laundry?
No, like you would rather do the laundry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. Is there one that I'd rather take on? Yeah, I'd rather. Well, I mean, I don't care. They're both fucking blow.
I know. They both suck.
But I feel like with laundry, I feel a little bit more accomplished. Plus, I feel like I would be less annoyed with the laundry. Whereas when I touch the dishes, or I'm going through the dishes, and I see some dumbass shit that shouldn't be in there, like somebody dumped cereal in there without putting it down the garbage disposal side, or why are we using these things when we have like
peanut butter,
recyclable plates? Yeah, exactly. I do get overly pissed and worked up about that. Mm-hmm. And I turn into an authoritarian. Is it authoritarian parent? Yeah, I get all authoritarian. No,
just go.
Anyway, nonetheless, dishes get me pissed. I do. And it's not because I don't like doing them. I'm fine with doing them. I just feel like a lot of dumb fuckery ensues with the dishes.
Yeah, I don't like the dishes.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But I do them.
Okay. It's my least favorite card we've gotten so far, to be honest. But that's fair. I guess that's a good question to open up and talk about. Did we ever, when we were dating, talk about roles as far as like cleaning the house and that kind of shit?
No.
We just did it, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of like whatever. But I will say, though, I feel like if you go into it without a plan, it does leave openings for getting in arguments about stuff not getting done. And then assuming
we definitely fought a lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Assuming that one person should be doing something or not communicating it. So I guess to that point, if we're going to take something from this, it would be, hey, have a plan. Like what do you like doing around the house? And then kind of try to match that up with what they like doing. And then in between the shit you don't want to do, split it up. Right?
Save it all for one day.
Yeah, can't do that. But right, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a especially dishes. It's a phenomenon, as Theo Vaughn would say.
Dishes and laundry are never ending. Like, that's the problem with them. You're never done.
No, but a lot of times it's like unnecessary what's created. Like the kids sometimes throw clothes in there that aren't dirty.
That infuriates
Towels.
me.
Use the towel more than how many times? Use the towels more than one fucking time. Like if they're not musty, smelly, hang them back up so they dry, air dry, and reuse the towel. I don't understand that. Why do we have to have 50 towels in the laundry?
Really like the old towel situation.
You bring reusing a towel?
I mean, if I was just like washing my hair, that's one thing, but like washing your hair and your body and like...
You're clean when you get out of the shower.
Yeah, but I don't want to use somebody else's towel. Like, I'd rather like
if we
use my own.
So either way, if we all had a towel we were reusing to the point, we'd probably only be doing 5 or 6 towels.
But they put it on the floor and then I don't want to use it.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, but again, that's my point. It's like, it creates a waste. So it's just frustrating. And I think that's a great segue into parenting methods, styles. Absolutely. So we, as we've been doing for this entire process of this parenting series that we've been on, we've been utilizing, research through various foundations, a lot of CDC, National Institute of Health, that sort of stuff. Now, this one is more unique because it is very specific to the parenting methods. Mm-hmm. What did we utilize in doing this research?
I used a lot from the CDC.
It was CDC,
and the American...
Just want to make sure, just in case anybody wants to fact check us, they know what our sources are. You don't have to...
positiveparenting.com.
There it is. Oh.
And there was another one from a psychologist that I don't know what website that is at the moment.
As you can tell, Emily and I are very organized this week. But I don't mean that as a knock. I'm just saying that I say that for both of us. Yeah. It's not like I'm over here asking you. So I could have easily figured that out or had that memorized. But go right ahead.
So there are 4 main styles of parenting.
Like, I see. I didn't even know that until we started researching
broken
this.
Into 4 different groups. One is authoritative, which basically is warm, clear limits, set boundaries.
And that's the one we're going to be talking about striving for this entire time. So really, we're going to mention the other ones, but that's really going to be more of don't do this shit. Right. And then really that's that authoritative one is the one that you want to strive to do. Nobody's perfect by any means. And we're not saying this as if we're authoritative parents. We've shown some of these traits, but it's one of those things you're going to see that you have to practice it.
Go in and
it's all in. Well, I think that's normal for all parents. Colin's gonna be pissed at the moment.
I know. Oops. But yeah, research shows that the authoritative is the best one. It kind of bleeds kind of on the millennial term would be more like positive parenting or gentle parenting, but it kind of is a little bit backed out of that. Like it's not so deep into the positive parenting that people get into it.
So
and then the next one is permissive, which is they're very warm, very much into positive parenting. There are no limits. There are no rules. You meet your child where they are and they kind of run the show.
You know what that is? You know what I call it? As I was reading and we were doing the research, I call that my kid's my friend.
Oh, okay.
It's my kid's my friend parenting, which if you watch Dance Moms, that happens, right?
Yeah. And then authoritarian is
drill sergeant parent.
Basically, yeah, not warm.
So I don't know why they don't come to me and ask for
not
these names.
Rules, or there are so many rules that you can't get out of line. It's basically blind obedience. You're fearful of.
I know it's best. I don't need to explain to you why I'm telling you this. Just fucking listen and do it right.
You know your consequence if you step out of it. It is you toe that line all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's uninvolved or neglectful parenting, which is basically
absentee.
That's self-explanatory. There's no involvement, no nothing. You could give 2 shits.
I'm gonna go get some milk. Parenting.
Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna focus on authoritative parenting because that's where all the evidence shows that children strive the best.
Thrive in the environment of an authoritative parent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And all the studies show, and I don't know exactly what you're going to bring up, but all the studies show, though, that kids versus all the other parenting methods are so much more likely to be successful, handle the environment, the world the way it is better, do better in school, have better do better with their mental health. All those things are related to this specific parenting style.
Right. It's a style of parenting that invites you to get like at the level of the kid, give them some choice in the decision that's being made, but you still control the situation, if that makes sense. So
yeah, it's having a firm boundary, but at the same time, so you're still the parent, they're the kid. You're not on the same level as far as like, hey, you're my fucking buddy, I just want you to be happy. It is.
But you're creating a healthy boundary.
I'm trying to make the best environment for you, but I'm also allowing you to start growing and trying to be independent and making decisions on your own. And I'm trying to guide you while that's happening.
Yeah. It was created by, this is the other person. It was created by the developmental psychologist, Diane Baumrind.
Shout out Diane Baumrind.
It's basically the middle where
the most famous of the Baumrinds, by the way.
Of where permissive and authoritarian meet. It's like the middle ground of it.
Yeah,
in accordance to like
those things.
Child psychology.
Yeah.
And that came from the CDC. And she has a whole bunch of books. Like if you go down a rabbit hole on that author or that psychologist, she has written so many books. She's written so many articles. There's so much that you can find on her. And she even breaks out authoritative versus positive parenting and gentle parenting and all of that stuff. Like she kind of is like, well, this is why this doesn't really work, but this is a subcategory of like, this is why this started kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just kids that have an authoritative parent are more likely to succeed in school, more likely to succeed as an adult. They have a lower risk of mental health crisis. They have a lower risk of physical health crisis. They know how to
they live longer, healthier lives.
Yeah, they know how to become independent, thriving people and productive citizens of the world. And they have more of an ability to be empathetic towards other people when making decisions. Where authoritarian kids can't make decisions. They don't know how to make a decision because they're so afraid to like make the wrong one, that they're kind of like in analysis paralysis all the time because
the research shows they tend to make the wrong decision, and it's because they've never been kind of trained essentially, because that's what we're doing, right? We're helping mold and prepare them for life. I mean, that's really our greatest responsibility as a parent, besides bringing them into the world. That's our biggest responsibility, in my opinion. And we have to, as parents, and this is something I'm just at 40 years old really starting to be mindful of understanding what that really means. And what that really means is it's not getting them just to listen to you. It is getting them to understand why they should listen to you in various times. It's also when you're making mistakes, it is communicating to them that you made a mistake and here's what you should have done, and own it, be accountable for it, apologize for it, so they can understand and take all these experiences, compile them, and then be able to be a fully functioning, positive adult as much as possible. Yeah. That's the goal. That's why it's there.
Yeah. There was research that showed like authoritarian kids also lean into like very negative codependent relationships as an adult. Neglectful does the same thing. They either go super codependent or they're neglectful in all aspects of their life too. Permissive is kind of like the stage 5 clinger kind of adult. So it just, the way you parent your kid helps create and shape who they're going to become and how they're going to act as an adult when they get out of your household.
Well, right. But I think that's an obvious statement. I think, but what is actually helpful is really understanding what are those key behavior characteristics we as parents can lock in on that are associated with authoritative parenting, right? And it's those things that are, if you can hit those more than you're not, you're going to create likely a healthy child.
Yeah.
If you fall into those other tactics, like when they're not doing something right, if your response, which I'm bad at, I can fall into that authoritative type of parent where it
authoritarian.
Authoritarian. Sorry. I don't fucking, Hey, genius fucking psychologists out there. Could you motherfuckers not make there's 4 parenting styles that you all break down. Make not 2 of them sound exactly the fucking same. Like fucking, you're so fucking smart. Why are you, if you're so goddamn smart, fucking create a B one. Don't be a bitch parent. Don't bitch at your kids all the time. Call it that one. I don't know. I knew I was going to flip up on this authoritative. I've been mad about it all week. To be honest, I don't like that they named them so close together.
I'm so sorry.
Who named that? What was her name?
Diane Baumrind.
Diane I think we got a little lazy on the naming conventions. And if it wasn't your fault, I totally apologize. But if you're going to write all these books, let's be a little more creative on the names. Okay.
Well, I mean, she basically took authority.
No, it's fine. I understand.
Permissive and
I swear to God, do not comment and start talking to me about the differences in the words. They sound alike. I'm messing it up. I don't like it. Just separate out the words. Sorry. So authoritarian is the one that's the bad one, right?
Yeah, that's like drill sergeant.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I fall into that all the time. So if you're going to learn something from me in this one, I tend to be more of the authoritarian parent, meaning that if you're not doing what you're doing and I do try to, hey, here's why we're not. Hey guys, here's why we shouldn't be doing that. Here's what we need to focus on, right? Something you consider gentle parenting, but really falls more in the authoritative line of parenting. But as soon as that starts not working or not, I feel it's not working or I feel like I'm not being listened to or heard, I will motherfuck them. And when I say motherfuck them, I mean, I start getting pissed and it is, no, you're just not doing this. You're not doing this anymore. And then you're throwing consequences out at them, which I think are unnecessary because then there's a punishment for it rather than, so the focus all of a sudden is I'm mad because you're not listening and I'm going to punish you for that. And I think you miss out on all the learning opportunities that come from that. But that's easier said than done. And that's 2020 hindsight after I've already made these mistakes. And most of the time it's more me apologizing and explaining afterwards, which I do think though, if you want to mitigate this, if you do tend to run hot, I think that's the way to do it is you do afterwards get on your level and like, okay, these 5 things happened, 4 were fine and great, right? This one I fucked up on. I should not have gotten mad. I shouldn't have made you take your PlayStation cord out of the thing and took it away for the day or whatever. I'm not giving it back to you, but it wasn't me. I will admit I'm wrong. But I will say I do typically tend to follow through with whatever the punishment is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's important because like the research that I did was like very much give the kids a sense of responsibility and a sense of control under an umbrella of something. So like examples they had were like, let them pick out the outfit that they want to wear for the day within a certain means. So like if you need them to be casual, let them pick a casual outfit. But if you need them to be dressed up for a certain thing,
instead of telling them what to wear, tell them that you need to
like pick from these items or
you need to dress for the occasion. That's all one would say.
And then like when it's playtime, let them choose what they're going to play. Don't say, well, go outside and play this. Like, okay, would you like to go inside or would you like to do this? Okay.
Give them opportunities to critically think about what they want to do and then put their energy into what
when they're given like a list of tasks or chores or something, it doesn't have to be done in a certain order. Let them figure out the order that they want to do it in so that they can control it. But you've set the boundary. You've set the expectation. Like this needs to be done. So you're going to do it, but I don't care how it gets done. It just needs to get done.
See, I do think that can be a pitfall for me to fall into the authoritarian way because, and I've heard you say it a bunch of times, right? It needs to be the mom standard.
Yeah.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
But and I think a lot of people can relate to this. You asked me to clean the room. Hey, did you clean your room? Yeah, I cleaned my room. You go in and it's not fucking clean. Like 3 things got moved off the floor. Drawers are open. There's some clothes hanging out. I don't know. And I'm sure I was like this when I was a child. I don't know if your vision's not fully 100%. Like you just cognitively don't understand cleaning, but it seems like there is an age thing where we just don't know what clean is. And we just try to, but you know what it really is? It's the understanding that like, I think the ultimate thing is, and where I think this type of parenting is so great, is that what it creates is that gives the kids truly at a base level an understanding that things that you don't like and things that are hard, if you do them, there's positive results that come through it.
Right.
But if you tend to focus where things are easy or you quit, it's not, right? And I do think, though, that type of parenting allows you to kind of get that message across in a much better way.
Yeah.
Whereas an authoritarian, you're just yelling at them what they should be doing because you in your mind know what's best, but they don't really actually learn the fundamental value of it, right?
Right.
Permissive
They're
parenting,
not explaining it.
I think you're just more worried about you and your kid getting along. And when you're worried about getting along with them, you're going to sacrifice a lot of things and you're going to create a lot of unhealthy boundaries. And we've been there, right? I know there's been times like you've worried about, me too, where you take things kind of personal as far as how they get mad at you or get upset with you when they're just being human beings. That, like, if that's something that throws them off on their day, it has nothing to do with you, our relationship.
Right.
But we tend to be kind of like, oh, I don't like that. You're being kind of mean, right? Or hey, why are you acting like that with me? And I think that's where you fall into those permissive, positive type of parenting styles where it's more about getting along. And that's the focal point of any situation where you're trying to communicate with your kid. It's going to lead to you not allowing them to grow in a positive way. And it's going to create support in them kind of taking the path of least resistance or quitting.
Well, yeah, because I don't want, like, I fall into it sometimes because I don't want to have like a negative relationship with them when they're older. Like, I think,
I don't think it's possible if we're consistent with this type of parenting.
I don't want them to hate me when they're older.
I agree. But I just think if we're consistent with this type of parenting method, that's not possible. But I think if we fall into the other ones more, then it is what you should always be doing more for me, because that's that kind of expectation you've created with that positive and permissive parenting. Or you've created all this couch time and trauma and you were a fucking asshole and you just never, you're never good to me. That authoritarian type of parenting. But if they always understand the why, regardless if you fuck up or not, I feel like then you are still consistently in line, even though you've fallen into those other things. If they understand the why, and if you've owned up to it, you've taken accountability for it, and they not only have you admitted you're wrong, but they've learned something from, oh, well, he messed up, and why did he mess up, and how did he explain, and then what he was talking about, what did that mean? Okay, I kind of understand that. And he did say sorry. So like, I still feel like you're correcting it back. You're throwing that ball back in the authoritative. Even when you mess up, you can still get it back to there.
Yeah.
Even that situation can be put back into that parenting style. But it takes a lot of fucking work.
It does.
And why is it that most people aren't authoritative parents? Because it's fucking work and it's hard.
It's
And
really
we as human
hard.
beings,
Yeah.
we are genetically designed to try to take the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And I know we don't want that for our kids. So again, we've talked about this in previous episodes. You got to model, and that's what it is. So there's no magic pill, guys. There's no Emily could tell you this information. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Authoritative parenting is you're not an asshole, but at the same time you have firm boundaries. You get the kids to understand why you're talking about what you're talking about, why you make the decisions you do. You allow them to have some freedom, safe risk, to make decisions and have independence. You harness that, and you allow them to kind of see you modeling being a productive, good human being. And then also you're supporting that, right?
Yeah.
But if you expect there to be some sort of like magic method, a magic pill, or a quick fix on this, it's not going to work. And you're just going to fall right back into those other parenting methods.
Like 3 things to keep in mind is like the triple F.
What's that?
It's the firm rules and expectations and follow through of those rules that you've set and expectations that you've set. And then fair consequences. So pick a consequence.
That one.
Yeah, pick a consequence that relates to the behavior in need of correction.
We're terrible at that.
We really are.
Because we try to, and I think that's the thing. I got to get out of the mindset. We try to hit them where it hurts. And when I say it hurts, I don't mean I want to hurt their feelings. No. I'm just thinking, is this something that if it's taken away, will it have impact? But to your point, obviously he's only having negative impact. Because when I'm like, hey, give me that fucking PlayStation cord, that has nothing to do with being respectful and listening.
No.
But then I guess my question is like, what's a good... Hey, and reach out to us on socials. Let us know as we're talking about this.
Consequences are really hard.
Give us some, if you guys have any good consequences that relate to the crime. So say like not listening, for example. Seamus did that the other day where we're having a conversation, you just started walking off. That's a big no-no for me. You know, you're having so long as the conversation is healthy. And at that point, that's what it was. We were talking about running and he didn't want to do it. And so I was explaining how it's when you don't want to do something that is good for you, it is even more important that you do it because you're training your mind to have discipline. And doing something you love doing something you hate like you love it is the ultimate success tool of creating discipline and being successful no matter what it is you're tackling. And he just started walking off in the middle of that conversation. And I took away his PlayStation cord for the day, which what does that have anything to do with that conversation?
Absolutely nothing.
I guess my challenge to that is what is a consequence to that? I mean, I probably could have been something like sitting there and forcing him to have you're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this. We're not going to focus on anything else. I guess that's a consequence, huh?
I mean, we still did that though. We still made him come back and listen.
Yeah, but then I took away Fortnite for the night.
Yeah.
And then the last F was friendly words when given directions or consequences. So like no name calling or talking down to them or blaming them for outside things. So for example, it's like if they spill the milk and you're like, are you trying to ruin my day? Or you always do such and such. Like if you find something on the floor, they made a mess and you're like, you always do this. You always leave this out. You always like, it's just a lot for them. And then
we do that a lot, actually. Now that I'm thinking about that.
Saying like, it's all your fault.
That one's not too bad for us, but but I think it's easy to fall into that. Those are all things where it's not necessarily like, I don't want people to understand this where you're bad if you do it.
No.
I mean, I think a lot of times it's perfectly logical. Like you do always not do this thing.
Yeah.
But you got to think outside of that in the sense of how is it the most impactful to them to not only you don't want them to do the behavior, but like positively get away from doing the behavior and understanding it. That's not the way to do it. And I can say as somebody who does it all the time, I do see a lot more positives when I'm able to not be mad, not make it about me being upset, and explain why that can affect things.
Yeah. And like the name calling stuff is a big one. Like don't call them dumb or a brat or spoiled or, anything like that.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's something that's hard for you. It's like you have to be constantly vigilant and mindful. Parenting is motherfucker, guys. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things, I think if you're really trying hard at it, you never feel like you're good at it.
Yeah.
And we're going to fail. We're going to fail just as much as we succeed.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Well, and like it's on the CDC website, they had like a personality kind of test thing to see what style, like you take an assessment to see what style of parenting you kind of fall into. But when I took it, it was different when I thought about each different kid. So I did it 3 different times and my percentages were different for each kid. Not saying that I have a favorite child or anything. It's just the way we approach each child is different because of the needs that each child has. Mm-hmm. And their ages had a lot to do with it too. So like the level of expectations we have for our oldest versus our youngest versus our middle, like that all changed. So I don't think it's something that I think it's something you have to be aware of, but I think it's also, but just so everyone's aware, I did fall more into the authoritative than the authoritarian.
I think we both do. Yeah.
But I thought it was just interesting when I answered each question based on a certain kid that it was a slight different percent.
Well, we're all human beings at the end of the day, and our kids have different personalities, and sometimes you mesh better with those or you don't. I mean, I think we just have to be honest with ourselves. It's not that you like a kid differently, but like with Seamus, I know I put a lot of pressure on him as being the only other. That's not a knock on Papa Ron. Papa Ron's an older man who's has health issues. So when I explain it, a lot of times I'm talking to him about things. I'm not calling him names. I'm not telling him he's doing something wrong, but I'm cautioning him that his choices, even the smallest ones, can be impactful when you have a family when you're older. And hey, you're not going to be responsible for taking care of your sisters, but you're going to be responsible for being a big brother that supports them.
Yeah.
And if you adopt this mentality of being a victim or not doing things when they're hard or quitting, you're not going to be as good of a husband. You're not going to, and I tell him that, and I say that to him. I say, take this from somebody who's failed at those things or not been as good as those things. I'm trying to explain that to you, but I still think it's putting way too much pressure on him. So you have that with him. With Tegan, I think I'm way too hard on her. Like I think I point out negatives of things she's doing all the time. And I think it's because I'm scared of what that could turn into. And I try to explain that to her. Maeve, I'm way too soft on. I'm way too buddy permissive parent with. But I think here's the thing. If we can look ourselves in the mirror and we can say those things, then we can start focusing on how do I get these particular situations back over to the authoritative.
Yeah.
And there's different methods to that based on how it is. Because I am more in a permissive state with Maeve. I'm authoritative with Tegan, but in a completely different way. I think it's more in a negative. I would even say, like, I don't name call it, but like the way I bring it up, I think it would fall into that name calling thing where it's like, here's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like just throwing in her face what she's doing sometimes. And then with Seamus, it is authoritative, but it is putting the pressure of the world on his shoulders, but trying to give him the tools to handle that. Because when you go out in this fucking world, it's going to, everything and everyone is going to try to break you down.
Yeah.
And how do we get it to the authoritative? And that's kind of what we were trying to explain today, as far as what those methods
implement
are.
one change at a time. Like
That's
don't like nothing's going to change overnight, but just try like
micro authoritative parenting. Like see the situation and try to implement that type of understanding. And it really is getting the kids to understand why, whatever the situation is, you're either wanting a specific behavior or having a specific conversation.
Yeah.
When you fuck up, make sure you explain yourself, make sure you own it. And, you know, that typically comes with an apology as well, just like you would expect for them to handle in the real world. It is really trying to be as good a human being possible and preparing them to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But allowing them to grow into their own person.
There are so many resources out there for parenting styles and how to be a better parent, how to phrase things. Like I clearly need to do some research on appropriate consequences. I think that's
the biggest one. Yeah. And just when you do fuck up, I think we do need to have a better strategy for how that's discussed, and definitely involving the kids more in conversating through what the decision-making process was and what they should have done, and allow them to get there, as opposed to just explaining to them and motherfucking them about what that's going to lead to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, definitely let us know, after you listen to the episode, give us a shout. Obviously we'll have shorts out there as well, as we normally do every week. Feel free to comment. Tell us what your guys' parenting struggles have been. Tell us how you've been able to hit the authoritative parenting type of role. Definitely help us out with the consequences. As you know, Emily and I, we try to bring these issues and information up to the forefront, but we're in no means experts or trained professionals. We're really trying to just navigate these waters and give everyone a platform to understand you're not alone. We're all in this together. Right. So definitely reach out to us on our socials. Do you want to go over our socials really quick before we wrap up the show today? Final thoughts?
You can reach it. Oh.
Your final thoughts you just right. You never got to enjoy cable. For us, what like doom scrolling is for kids now, or doing all that dumb shit, is like watching Jerry Springer and Maury and all that shit.
Never watched those.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, you can find us at dowehavето.com. You can submit your comments and questions there. You can also send us your Sour Patch Kid moments at...
Honey, just give me the socials. Why?
You can tag us. I don't know. I changed the hashtag. Instead of hashtag Sour Patch Kid moment, I shortened it to SPKM because everybody's complaining that Sour Patch Kid moment was too long.
People were complaining about it. It was probably more me, but...
Anyways, you can find us on Peloton at Do We Have To Pod KC. That's following Sean. You can follow me at Emily_in_KC. You can join the Do We Have To team. You can also use Do We Have To crew as your tagline. Yeah. This challenge is how many minutes worked out, like a total minutes worked out.
Yeah, for the entire month of May. So join, even if you haven't joined the team, you can join the team, and whatever workouts you have will pull in when you join the challenge. And I'll tell you right now, I'm winning it actually, but not everybody on the team has joined yet. And I know there's our wonderful, what was her name?
Krabby
in UK?
Cakes.
Krabby Cakes is training for a marathon.
Yeah.
And so I know that I think she is technically ahead of me. So Krabby Cakes, make sure you join that. So let's keep pushing each other. But right now I'm winning that. And, but we're growing each week. We're getting new members, as well as the fact that each week we're surpassing total workout time. I think we did 80 hours last week.
Yeah.
So congrats to everybody on the Do We Have to crew.
And you can find us on YouTube at Do We Have to, a marriage podcast. Instagram, thread, and Facebook is at do.we.have.to. X is at Do We Have to pod, and TikTok is at Do We Have to, a marriage pod.
There you go. Perfect. And guys, everybody, thank you so much for listening today. We're going to continue on with our, upcoming episodes. We've got a, what do you call it? A milestone episode coming up, their 20th.
Oh,
now
wow.
we're going to have to think about that. So got our 20th episode coming up. We really do appreciate all the support. Listening.
Get back to some of the Do We Have to crew questions.
Yeah, eventually we will. And we'll just continue to provide you guys content, continue to give us feedback. And if you got any ideas, we'll throw them to us. Yeah. Everybody just hang in there. Keep doing your best. Good luck to everybody as all the kids are coming off for summer break.
Just a few weeks.
You got any advice? What do you lay some advice on the audience?
It takes a crew.
It does take a crew. Oh, I like that. I have an Oscar Wilde quote I'm going to end today.
Oh.
Okay. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody is in the gutter, but some of us are looking to the stars. Be the ones that are looking to the stars. Oscar Wilde. Also, don't be an asshole.
Learn something.
That's right.
Have fun.
I love you, Rosebud.
Love you too.
Wake up, I'm about to shake up every little thing, show you all that we can be. Come dance in my club.